triple commit and triple the force for Atomic. Team Queso gonna need the triple threat to take down Solary, which a lot of people out there, Cole, are really taking Solary for the bid here, but Queso are no easy out.
Mic is muted.
Oh, you literally told us that you are.
We're so close.
I know, it was
so
unmuted
close,
on
man.
Discord. I am terrible. I was going to say 3 of us as well, so hopefully fewer chances to mess things up, but I've already ruined that one. Indeed, Solary versus Team Queso. It seems to be one that many people are backing Solary to take, but my heart is with Team Queso for this one. I've just got a feeling their unique brand of chaos is going to see them through today.
It's definitely one of those matchups I feel that can really go either way, especially when it's the inconsistent teams essentially against each other. Solary are on one of the biggest upswings we have ever seen any team come into. But then Queso, the last time they faced off, it was an incredible grand finals back in that Regional 2 in spring. And to start off these championships, look at this overlay. I'm so pleased that we get to see this today.
It looks absolutely phenomenal, and what better way to kick it off than in a crazy week of Rocket League for the championships. We'll see what Queso can do against Solary. I think there is a lot of good energy around the Cheese Boys. Atomic, you know, he's at the start of that conversation. He's had a lot of great plays in front of the box. Another shot right in front, and all 3 committed from Solary. Astral couldn't get in front of it. It'll be turned away by Farah.
It's a really good start for Team Queso, and I think that's important for them to have. They are the unfancied team in this run, and I would say between the 3 of them compared to Solary, the chance for tilt is higher with Team Queso, despite obviously Astral being known for that. So beginning as well as they possibly can do with the pressure this high could be important, but it's a long old set this, 3 best of 5. So maybe I'm talking rubbish, and over the course of a series, it's not going to make that much difference how you start.
It's definitely hard, I think, to try and work your way into this series, knowing that there's going to be at least one more to come. And even if you lose the first one, it's then working that mindset back to the point of it won't matter too much. It will not be the biggest problem. But Shawset is looking to be the thorn in the side of Queso, scoring the inaugural goal of the championship.
And how about Farah? Getting the play out from the corner. He tied up Demensa trying to get the boost. Farah stole the boost from under him. Demensa, he was late to the play. Maybe he could have gotten to that shot, but it was the chip that gave Solary an edge there and got them the first goal.
It's also important for Shawset. I mentioned confidence for Team Queso, but he in particular for Solary is a player that has seemed low on confidence fairly often throughout the RLCS, especially when Solary started so poorly. I think Johnny mentioned it on the desk at the beginning. He seemed like a different player. So him getting a goal early is going to be great for him. But there could be another one for Demensa. Farah just about does enough to see it onto the crossbar.
What a good clear there as well. From the backboard too, Farah comes in. But look at Astral working his way down. Does get cut off. And I think Astral, we mentioned him a little bit earlier too. He's always got that infamy around him where the mentality maybe sometimes isn't there. You can see on the player counts when they pop up, if a silly goal goes in, he will let his teammates know about it. But it's about keeping that level head, going through these series as well, where you can't just be throwing your mentality away on your own because that will affect your teammates as well.
I do think it does rely on the performance of Shawset and Farah for Astral, because we have seen those moments where he can take over the pitch, but it's typically because all of Solary are playing well. When Shawset is nailing his 50s, when Farah is nailing his follow-ups, that seems to be when Astral can finally find the space to be a mechanical monster that we know he can be. And I mean, right now in this first game, it's about as good of a form as you can ask for Solary. They haven't given anything up on the back end. The rotations have been clean. Every contact has been solid, so I really can't point to anything negative yet about Solary's play through 3 minutes.
I mean, I'd say that Team Queso have probably had more pressure, but it hasn't really looked like they're going to do too much with it, apart from that one shot that hit the crossbar. Solary just swallowing up their chances so well, until, of course, I curse it, and it's 1-1.
It was a great shot as well from BK Salen too. Can just get on the end of that 50 with Atomic's pass with Astral. But the touchdown, the second one from Astral, does mean that BK Salen can snipe it first. Under 2 minutes though, Queso bringing it even in a series that I think at least this brand new 3-man casting booth had to be a much closer series than the desk might have thought.
Certainly. I mean, these guys haven't played that often either when you think about it. What was their last match was in Spring Regional 2, and then before that you have to go the whole way back to winter to find another matchup. So You know, they haven't played that often, and they've probably put together like a similar amount of results, I'd say, besides the championship.
Yeah, I mean, they've won 2 each at this point. The furthest back it goes is to Fall, and they've only played each other 3 times since then. The Winters had 2 verses in Regional 1 and Regional 3, but you're right, they haven't really had a chance to learn how each other plays. I mean, Queso is the incredibly fast team that can outpace anybody in the world if they're on their day. We've seen that before. And then Solary, they need to try and just have the cohesion between them, but definitely one of those all-star battles that will be an amazing couple of series.
It's normally pretty close as well. I mean, it was 3-2 in Winter Regional 3 and then 3-4 in that Spring Regional 2 Grand Finals. So no doubt these two are going to push each other all the way.
It's been a tight one, guys. I mean, no one's really giving any ground pretty easily. Third man's been solid on both ends. And no one also really willing to commit the full house to a play. There hasn't really been an opening for either team to find it. But Astral might slip one right through. Chaussette puts it over. Can't find it across the post. But Solary looking good on this push.
On a series as tight as this one, you have to be able to take the few chances that you get. And Astral did some great work as seeing Chaussette double commit to get Chaussette that chance. I'm wondering if Solary are going to look back at that moment with regret.
Another boomer. Well, if the first game's going to be overtime, this might be a real long set. Chaussette would love to end it right now. They know they got a ton of games to play, and, well, this is an unprecedented format, so who knows what kind of marathon mode these players are going to have to enter in. But we do get OT for our first game.
I mean, seeing as well, this is the first time we're seeing overtime in the championships whatsoever. I feel like it's going to be one of those moments where we're looking at it and thinking, yeah, this was the start of the longest day in Rocket League history. This is the start of the 13-hour marathon that Tuesday ended up being.
We can but hope.
Alfera, oh, a nice catch. Got the flick as well, but again, the follow-up on defense has been strong for Queso. For Astral throwing out the triple commit BM during the pre-match interview. You know, Queso, they haven't really double committed even at all on defense, despite some good pressure from Solary. They haven't really been able to force them into too many errors.
Yeah, there's been 1 or 2 moments in defense actually from Solary on the other end where they've gotten each other's way a little bit, and they have to be really careful here. If Atomic going forward gets another touch, I don't think his teammates needed it, but VK Salem follows up, and the opening game does go to Team Queso from that ceiling play.
There's the late scorers too, and there's VK Salem finishing it off yet again. And that bump coming in to remove both players of Solary from that back line is gigantic. I mean, it was Atomic managing to go from the ceiling, keeping that threat airborne for so long, and then taking it back down just means that Queso take the first game.
That game had such a game 1 jitter vibe to it. Like, neither team willing to commit to a ton of risky plays. They're just like, if we don't win that first challenge, that's okay. Just keep beyond midfield secure, and we'll go in for another push. And it just kind of, it resulted in a lot of dead ball play, but then a lot of backboard reliance too. Like, a lot of the goals that came through that challenge forced in front of the box, Queso were able to slip through, but it's just a lot of gritty Rocket League going on.
I mean, we might have 20 more games left in this set alone, so you can appreciate the players' reasoning for maybe starting things a little bit slowly. I'm sure as it goes on, it's going to explode in many ways. Team Queso especially, they are a team that can absolutely explode in any second. And what impressed me from their perspective, I think, is that they didn't have to there. Solary have clearly come into this to play a fairly slow game. Team Queso didn't fall for their trap and start, as you mentioned, Jorby, throwing all 3 players at everything. And in the end, they took their chances when they came.
I mean, that was ultimately what the final goal came down to, though. It was not even just throwing all 3 players there, but making all 3 players available in very unique situations. It was Atomic with the setup, Demensa to just clear the way with the double bump on Chaussette and Astral, and then BK Sounds come in and finish it. Great start for Queso, though, and if they continue like that, both of these teams, it's going to be a long series, but a fantastic one.
Maybe one to remember. How about it for the opening set of RLCS Championships? No chance for Atomic. Gonna be tough to find flip resets with a rotation that tight on Solary.
Yeah, it was a great save as well, following up from Chaussette. And here comes Astral. Wow, this is the game of saves so far. A brilliant one there from Team Queso. Unbelievable that it's not already 1-1.
Atomic able to grab the ball again here. He's got no boost in the tank. What can he do with it? He's just kind of wait for Astral to bring it down. He'll collect the boost to take it away as well, and VK Salen want to keep Solary trapped in here. Demenza got the corner boost steal. Could mean more push for Team Queso. Atomic does get first look at the ball. Demenza's in position. Salen committed, and Astral picking up the save on the back end.
The thing about Astral is that he is so good mechanically, he reads things that others don't see coming because he is capable of doing it themselves. Normally Team Queso have this way of just shocking their opponents. Ferra's trying to shock the Team Queso defense here, they're not quite able to do it. Whereas with Astral, who's already made a couple of absolute worldy saves already in this game too, he can just see these plays emerging and he's already there ready for them.
Solary having more trouble hanging on to this ball. They got that one transition play. Here comes another one. Chaussette gets a great touch. Astral has to wait for the rebound. He was able to get the challenge, but again, nothing really set up there for Solary. They're forced back to their own wall. Scary situation, and the shot's right in! Astral couldn't make the save, and Atomic gives Queso the lead.
God, that placement from Atomic as well. Sends it long originally, and Ferra thought he had so much more time than he actually did. Atomic coming in immediately. Astral, though, nearly getting that pinch out. Great placement from Atomic. Queso now getting their early lead instead of having to chase from the first game.
Well, Astral gets a favorable set here. Got off the ceiling, but Atomic, he was already off the wall, ready to handle the challenge from Astral. He just left.
Ferris is faking them all.
That's the danger with him, too, because him more than other players, he'll go for those if he knows he's got you beat on the challenge. Ferra loves employing the mind game to get by you. It's what helps Solary through so many tournaments.
Yeah, he's not the most mechanical player in the world, but he is so intelligent. Most players are rushing in that situation. No one's rushing for Solary at the moment. The infield passes are coming in. The Team Queso's defending has just been so disciplined so far.
Yeah, they've done such a good job of making sure that any of their hits that they're getting, they're making sure they're sending them to available areas for their teammates, or at minimum, away from the opposition that is putting that press on them. More infield passes, though. I certainly see them maybe pushing their way through that back line, especially if double commits keep happening. Atomic and Demenza have had a couple to their names so far. But you're right, the infield passes are currently being met. But double commits, like I said, can't be too often.
And that's the danger, too. Despite those double commits, they're still threatening on the transition. Atomic almost grabbing that one. VK Salen will let that drop. That might work out for Queso. A little bit of space. Oh, Demenza's so speedy to the ball, but do they have a follow-up?
Open?
Astral will actually get to the ball first.
That's completely open as well, but there was nobody from Queso pushing their way up. Something they don't normally fall prey to is having an open shot that there's nobody there to commit for. Typically, it is saved away because of how far they push up. So uncharacteristic from Queso. That's not how they got to this point, but Chaussette wanting to one-v-1 VK Salen and smashes it with the roof of his car with a setup for Ferra.
I've been watching Chaussette for a while, and he is just sitting at the back, just waiting for his moment to come in. He's already made 4 saves, and then finally he gets that few seconds of space to make a dribble, and my goodness, does that man know how to dribble.
You know, when Johnny was talking about him thinking, you know, Chaussette was the best player in the world in 2019, it was that 50 game that really put him at the forefront of it. He just never lost a 50 in 2019. You look back at the tape, there's not a single one he lost. I don't think so. Ferra gets him set up, and Chaussette can't find the net. Blocked. Demenza got to it.
You have such a simple shot as well. Now that runaway chance for Atomic as well just sneaks past the final defender. I can't help but think that that should have been a much better shot for Solary.
Oh, it's Ferra cutting across Astral as well. And Astral just has to chase it and watch it go in. So frustrating there for Solary. But credit again to Team Queso. They are finding a way to keep this ball out. And when they're getting their few chances, they are just taking them.
Yeah, deadly on the counter-attack, it looks like, too. Not making sure that they aren't committing too hard on plays that they know they can't win. But Chaussette wanting to go for 1, 2, the third. Does the Atomic managing to clear it central. Ferra now to go high with the ball. Astral to match, down to Ferra again. Shot is available, but as he sends it central, Chaussette should have been a bit further up. And again, a counter-attack goal for Queso, catching Solary utterly off guard.
They can't let that happen. You can't let that ball go by you. Not just once, but twice now. Chaussette going a little too fast. He can't get turned around in time as the ball is sailing over his head, and then he still had a chance to make that save. It was just too little, too late for Chaussette. Look, that first one, is almost understandable. But the second one, letting that one go by you in a 1-2 game, well, that's tough to swallow if you're Solary.
These are the moments as well, but for a delicate Solary, you just start to look back at the end of the series and think, oh, if only that had have gone in, they would have played so much better. You can just sense with a delicate team like this one that moments like that can really make them struggle. So they have to just keep communicating, talk their way through what's essentially turned into a very tricky second game after they got that equalizer.
I mean, ultimately, no matter what happens after this series, they have a bit of a break. They can calm down for a second and they can regather their thoughts. But the final 10 seconds, it's not going to see a Solary goal come in, at least one that matters anyway, especially with VK Salem pressuring that well. And Team Queso going 2-0 up to start off this series.
Well, not the way some may have expected it, but Team Queso on top of it, and they might win the first match here between them and Solary, and looking pretty good. They haven't had to do too much to get things done on offense, but it's on defense where I feel like Team Queso have played really strongly. You've had a lot of infield passes from Solary, a lot of fakes as well. Solary employing the entire playbook to try to get by Queso's defense, and instead they found the ball sailing past their head.
Yeah, they're just not giving away anything right now, Team Queso. Solary did manage to get their goal, but it was from a moment of old school genius from Chaussette as opposed to a double commit or a dive in or the third man being too far forward. And then unexpectedly, we're seeing the same thing in reverse from Solary. They are giving Team Queso free goals. And for a team that's as momentum-based as Team Queso that can suddenly spring to life at the first chance of something they get, you cannot afford to do that. Right now, to me, Solary have to play this next game solidly. Give Team Queso nothing. Try and grind out a victory.
Yeah, they're going to have to take it as well because suddenly they're on the line. They are on the ropes. If they lose one more, that is going to be that first series done in this set as well. And Ferrer has employed the biggest gamer lean I have seen in the world. That is unbelievable. His nose barely peeking above the bottom of the camera. So Solary, they mean business, but one more, and that will be our first series done.
He might fall out of his chair if a shot comes at him too fast. Nice grab from Astral, and VK Salem getting in front of it. Atomic off the backboard, and it will be sent away. VK Salem went the whole way back to midfield. This is great form for Queso. If you can grab this first match win here, I mean, Solary, because of the type of team you guys have talked about it, you know, the tilt factor with Astral, if he's not feeling comfortable going into the next match, that just plays into Queso's success if they can't get it figured out.
And Queso have got so much more to offer as well because they're not doing too much. And as I say that, Atomic justifies exactly what I'm talking about. This is what they're capable of when they have to score these great goals.
That angle is so tight that he has to nail as well. Not only getting the first touch to the backboard, that has to be perfect. And he's already moving to set himself up for the double tap with his initial movement from the ground. Atomic yet again scoring and just diminishing those Solary hopes over and over again. This time, no runaway goals. That is sheer style.
I mean, that also changes what I said Solary need to do, which is just to be as solid as possible. A moment of magic from Team Queso. Suddenly, Team Solary have to leave their shell, which just is exactly what Team Queso want.
And what exactly is leaving the shell for Solary? Like, what do they have to do? Because, I mean, the last game, I mean, they tried everything in the book. They tried the infield passes. They weren't really successful on demos. What a clear. Yeah. But again, the fakes too. There wasn't really anything that worked for Solary on offense.
They had that fantastic dribble from Chaussette, but that had to be an outplay. I mean, Cole said it just before this game started that Solary had to work for their goal. Team Queso were gifted too. But then they had to work with this one in this game. So already very, very soft progress, if that's how we're going to be measuring that metric. But when it comes down to it, Solary just need to not just be sending the ball where they think their teammates are. I've seen that already just in this 15 seconds I've been talking, where Astral and Chaussette, they're just sending the ball middle with nobody there to receive it in a good position. VK Salem missing an open net at the back by going for the block. But it's rough. It's hard, and Atomic, sorry. God, there's so many A and then omics at the end. Just keep making it harder.
Eventually, we're just going to mix all the players up internationally, too. There's too many A teams.
Oh, no.
Is that in? Oh, VK Sailing got boxed out by Astral, and finally Solary commit a goal.
Yeah, I was not impressed by Ferra's touch here after Demensa missed. It was too heavy for a pass and too heavy for a shot on the other side. But thankfully for him, Astral closed it down with a 50-50. And that's what Solary need to do. There you go. They just need to bully their way through the Team Queso defense. And now they have momentum. They have to make the most of it, because in the last game, this is when they threw everything away. They just equalized, done brilliantly well to do so. 20 seconds later, Queso had scored twice, and it has happened again.
That is just utterly prophetic as well, where it was mechanical brilliance too that caused it. VK7 following up again for a remarkable dunk. The bottom right corner, this time found by Demensa. And that is a fantastic start to the game. We're nearing halfway through now, but what a recovery.
And the win knocked out at Solary Sails again, too. You finally can convert, and then you're put right back into the same spot. And Solary on offense, well, there hasn't been a lot of it. 3 shots on net. So, whoop, Demensa missing the ball might give Farah a chance. Tomic got there. Chaussette, light shot turned away by VK Sailing, but still, it's a good set for Solary. Astral with a quick touch. He wants it. No boost, but can't get back to the touch.
Solary are trying to play faster, and I respect that because they absolutely have to do that against Team Queso, but the comms just aren't quite there right now. As they're trying to speed up, they seem to be becoming more disjointed in their approaches. Double commits are happening more. There's just something missing with the way they're communicating. So while they're trying the right thing, it's not quite happening on the pitch right now.
Nice grab from Farah. He actually might have bought Astral a chance, but Atomic's just all over the play. There's no way in for Astral. He looked for it. He was in the right spot. But Queso had completely clamped down that half of the field. There was just no lane for him to pick, despite Solary pushing their way forward. Just can't find a real shot. Astral sends it across, and Farah's too far behind. Chaussette was following right behind him, so the play dies for Solary, but still, they progress downfield. It's
yet again, though, those chances where it was a pass in that, in theory, is fantastic. Astral's vision there is something that I've wanted to see from him for a long time. But his teammates weren't actually there for it, whether that's on him to just not pass there and keep control, or whether it's on his teammates to work into that position more proactively. Something needed to be different. It wasn't. Queso, though, they maintain with this lead, and it does not look like they're going to be throwing it away.
And they're defending so well until...
That's better!
Ooh, wow.
That's what I wanted to see. That was pin-perfect passing from Farah back to Astral, across pitch to Chaussette. Top bins utterly smashed out the way. The equalizer for Solary, and hopefully this is where the Phoenix rises.
I mean, there has only been like one to two passes that you could get off on Team Queso's end before it's cleared down the pitch. The fact that they actually found the space and they were spaced out just enough to get that 3-point passing play off, they might get it again here, but Astral was bumped off the play. Solary, signs of life. You like how they're forming up here at the end of regulation. Popped over one. Astral trying to get over it. Underneath it, Astral puts it in the net for Solary.
It changes so quickly. One goal. Ferris helped along his way by Astral. History will say that was completely intentional. That's exactly what Astral had in mind. The genius of the man to just fling Farah forwards, then be there on the other side. 3-2 Solary.
That is such a resurgence from them as well, but a fake kickoff from Team Queso has Demensa in the end, returning back as the ball did find where he previously was. Chance of VK Sailing there keeps it high. Team Queso not dead yet.
Well, VK Sailing pops it up. They're going to have to work the distance now in their own corner. And that's a tough touch. I don't think they're going to get back to that one. Solary able to get a win here against Queso after a rough start.
Well done, Solary. I thought that this series was just trickling away from them. I didn't back them at all to get the equalizer, let alone the winning goal before overtime. Credit to them. I said they were appearing disjointed, and then something seemed to click within the way they were playing around each other. They just upped their pace, but not in an unnatural, forced way, in a way that seemed organic and worked for them. They weren't chasing the ball, they were attacking the ball with confidence. Team Queso didn't really expect the Solary change of pace there, and I think that they were just shocked by how Solary played the end of that game.
I mean, the biggest change-up for me was the fact that the passes, when previously they were floating, they were airy, they weren't directed at anybody in particular. Suddenly, as soon as Solary found their teammates, they were passing with purpose, and it made so much more sense. Look at that vision from every player on Solary. Even Farah getting the backwards pass, and then Astral just smashing Farah into passing it for him, thinking, well, if if I can't just do it to myself, maybe I'll just send you towards the ball anyway. It works, and Solary, those passes, if they're going to keep connecting, Queso need to shut them out much earlier because that destroyed their defense.
So you're saying if Astral pretends that his teammates are also the ball, then that might be the key to victory for Solary, Stumpy?
Yes, I think that is about right, I reckon.
All right, well, I mean, Astral, we'll see how it works for him again, but those types of plays always fun. But for Queso, you still have a chance to close it out here in the first match, and letting this one go a little longer, letting it go 5, it starts going off in the back of your head. You're like, oh, this series could go a while. Oh, this set could go a while. But Solary have to fight back, and maybe this could be the kickstart for their offense and for, well, the entire match.
I mean, I still back Team Queso from here, probably to win this game. I would say that they've been the better team pretty much throughout this first series, but it can just get in your head. When you think you're about to win, the clock is trickling away, you're just seeing it out, and then suddenly a play that your opponents have tried about 15 times before, the infield passes that just weren't working, suddenly it lands, you can start to question yourself just a little bit. So now the onus is on Team Queso to keep doing what they were doing so well defensively.
I mean, bear in mind, I literally said, I don't see Queso throwing this one away with about 40 seconds left, because they weren't. At that point, they weren't. And then Solary turned it around. They looked incredible. Queso couldn't deal with it, but this pressure at the start of this game from Queso, it is wearing it down. Sorry, from Solary, it was wearing down Team Queso.
And they got more boost on top of it. Sailing with a perfect touch up above the backboard. Astral will grab it back for Solary. But still, VK Sailing able to grab that boost, try to get back on the 50, but that's tough. Dementa in a poor spot. Atomic coming in to help out, and Queso, despite all that pressure, felt a little bit of it themselves in the orange half.
Yeah, they've held out well, because Team Queso did start this game very well. And now Solary just beginning to grow into it. It's the same thing we saw in Game 1, where Team Queso were out the blocks hotter, and then Solary got not even a counter-attack goal. It was just from their first wave of pressure. They managed to score it. But this is looking nervy for Solary as they're defending now, because a few dodgy touches in defense surely is going to lead to a goal. And I think that's an own goal.
History will say that is definitely an own goal. But it was Atomic is sending it behind. And it was just where Astral landed after aerialing up, may I add, alongside Shawset. So both committing for that ball. Lands awkwardly to try and recover from it, off the post and then off his car yet again. Team Queso gaining that lead. And that was also despite how much pressure there was on the side of Solary too.
Oh, Astral getting a perfect touch out to the side because VK Salmon was breathing down his neck. Looking for another Queso goal. Pass in front, that's dangerous. Shawset and Farah commit for the play. And that just hit right down in front of Shawset. Astral came up and now they're beat. All of them are gone. I'm sorry, guys, but that's another open net.
Just quickly, look at Shawset's hit there. He had Astral completely open in the midfield. That was the play. He did not go for that. He shot it very weak at net, and then that's where the counter-attack came from. That goal is entirely on Shawset, not seeing that Astral was an option.
Well, I'd also argue that Shawset and Farah had just made a double commit, and Astral, instead of thinking, okay, I better retreat back and make sure we don't have a counter-attack goal scored against us, was lingering in the center, waiting for a very high-risk infield pass. So I'd say the two of them didn't exactly cover themselves in glory. I don't think anybody from Solary did that.
Farah, how do you feel about him on that play?
He double committed, didn't he?
Ah, no, I thought there was really a light at the end of the tunnel.
No glory for any of them, Stumpy.
Yeah, he did kind of just fly around in midfield. Not really helping him. Atomic trying to carry it out for Queso, and it's taken away. But Queso, this is exactly the form that you want. You know, you don't have to hurry up too much on defense. It's Solary that have the burden of trying to catch back up. And Farah, that ball sails over his head. Atomic's going to get a shot, and it's a weak touch, so Astral can carry it out.
I'm really surprised about that because Atomic has scored 6 goals so far in this series. He's been absolutely huge for Team Queso, not missing too many chances, but even after missing that one, it doesn't affect this version of Team Queso at all. They just wait for that next mistake and just punish.
I mean, they're waiting for that next mistake at a mistake buffet. Like, the mistakes are going to keep coming. Like, you don't need to worry. This isn't table service. You go up, you wait for Shawset to just serve. He's got buckets full of them. And yet, Dementa, just again, like you said, Cole, it's a problem when a lot of the passes at the back are just being loose and iffy, and there's not much coming from them, and the defense breaks down with a single error. Well,
so many mistakes, they can't give them away. And Queso, It's a minute 40 left, but yeah, I mean, look, they're gonna win. They're gonna win this first round against Solary, and where does that put Solary if they can't find a goal here? You know, you get the match reset, right? It's another best of 5, but now it's the only best of 5 you got. And what's the mindset got to be? Is it just the same old, same old? Well, hang on, Farah's gonna put it in, so maybe not.
Yeah, it's about the time where we counted them out before as well. So I feel like we're not doing ourselves many favors.
That's true.
I don't think it was 3 goals last time, to be fair to us. But I mean, fair play, Jorby. I was thinking the exact same thing as you. By no means did I think that Solary would even get themselves a sniff at getting back into this game when you started saying as much. But now they have. So let's see how things change.
Bought themselves some time. But if Astral and Farah jump in front of each other like that, they might not find many chances. BK Sandlin first up. The rest of Solary have to wait.
I think that's got to be the easiest fix, right, for Solary. It's easier said than done, but just fix those double commits. There have been so many. I think Farah's been involved in a lot of them. I think I understand why. They're trying to make sure they don't completely become outpaced by Team Queso, but they've gone too far the other way right now, Solary. And Team Queso are having the discipline as Dementa saves Atomic Shot to punish them.
It's so close at this point. It's so tight for Solary's window. It just keeps closing with every second. It looks like it's near enough nailed on for a Queso victory in this first series. The final 20 seconds, though, that's going to decide everything.
Oh, Chaussette's got a one-on-one. Oh, he tried to force it in on the 50. That was the best chance he had. Maybe Farah gets one here. No boost, sets up Chaussette close to the box. And again, 2 defenders there to send it away. Another one. Chaussette can't turn around on it quick enough. And Atomic will roll it back around. No time left. Team Queso will take the first best of 5 match.
They look like the better team throughout to me as well.
Yeah, Solary, I think, are going to be understanding why that happened, because there were clear errors in how Solary played. It was the weak defense at the back. It was coming forward far too much. I mean, that was alluded to earlier as well by Atomic, who said, triple commit, triple the fun. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we're all going to be chucking ourselves up the pitch anyway. But it also just comes down to Queso doing such a good job of identifying those holes in the Solary backline, sending a long shot just to pressure them. One of them managed to get on the nose of Chaussette, but he still couldn't quite keep it out. It was a great showing from Queso. One more series, they go through. Solary will be going home, but that is a break. Solary still have time.
Well, I thought that Team Queso were going to win this set before we started it, and nothing that I saw in that first series is going to change that at all. This from here has to be Team Queso's to win. Atomic in particular, he scored so many goals in that series. We saw one really mechanical play. Other than that, he was just getting freebies. Queso are going to go on to take this one, I believe. Stumpy, convince the people that I'm wrong, maybe?
No, I shan't, actually. I think I didn't pick Solary to win at the start of today, and I wouldn't pick Solary to win when they're literally down 1 series. I think that this is Queso. They looked incredible to begin with. I don't see that changing. I think we're just about to see the same Queso that has won a regional previously, the one that won it over Solary at that as well. They have their number. Solary look trapped, but what a start for them if they want to prove us wrong.
Well, I mean, I think the big thing for Solary is like, okay, you can get these goals, right? And you pull out ahead early, but can you actually withstand the Queso pressure, and can you keep that ball secure? Because that was, for my mark, it was just the fact that Solary couldn't keep the ball secure. The ball sailing past the third man too many times, and Queso are going to be, it's going to be easy to punish that. So while they get the first goal, yes, that's nice, but I need to see the whole body of work before I believe Solary are going to get back in it.
I mean, it is only 1 goal, but to my memory, that is the first time so far in this entire set that Solary have started a game better. They went ahead in game number 1, but that was after defending for a minute or so, whereas on this occasion, they actually came out the blocks the hotter team, which could be huge for them. You know, these are the moments where your mindset gets repaired. Solary are coming in to Series 2 hot.
That's such a good start for them as well. They need the utmost confidence. And with VK Salen getting a very lackluster touch, Farah can just tip it over the back, so over the top of the back defender. And with the 2-0 start in 1 minute of gameplay, Team Queso need to be a little bit worried. The desk seemed to be flip-flopping, as Jorby did say a little minute ago. But I still feel confident about Team Queso. Solary, though, definitely putting up a great argument, as now we see Farah work his way down, actually using air roll to get all the way down the pitch as well. Good touch from Demensa to doink it over the top of the defender. Astral to the backboard. Going to get this central to a player. Not quite able to. VK sailing to receive. And another half minute gone.
I'm so glad that we are, at the very least, seeing the real Solary at the start of this game. They're looking fast, they're looking impactful. Farah is at the end of the chances that Shawset and Astral are forcing. Astral's mechanics are about to come into the game because he's getting more of the ball. In the last series, every time Astral went to the air, he had one, maybe two Queso players just tearing down the distance between himself and the ball as quickly as they possibly could do. But now look at him, he's dribbling, he's getting second touches, he's getting clean hits. Farah's coming in. Farah wants to flip on the backboard. Oh, so close. But Solary are going to keep on coming.
I mean, it's 2 minutes gone now, and Astral is just able to tip that back, though, with VK trying to go for the double. Gets such a gentle touch and can get the dunk. Astral is caught absolutely short-sighted as VK Salen sees magic in the future.
Oh my goodness, VK Salen did it all himself. It didn't even matter. It didn't matter if Astral got that touch. VK Salen had the boost to get there. It didn't matter if Shawset came in to get the save. You're too slow. It's too VK Salen. There's 3 of them. There was 3 of them on the pitch that time. That was crazy.
If anybody is new to Rocket League eSports, and in particular new to Team Queso, that is your average Team Queso goal. It just makes no sense from beginning to end. You're starting to think, oh yeah, the play's gone, and still they keep on coming. Oh. And this is the Team Queso game as well. 2 goals down quick, flash of the pan, they're back in it.
Wow, that is so much speed from Atomic. He's a full 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of Farah, who was challenging him to that ball. Yep. The crossbar is found, and as that falls over the top of the keeper, they equalize in this first game. A game that looked so much like Solary had a great grasp on it.
And see, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Well, hang on, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Wide open net for Solary, but you know, I was going to say how, yeah, they could get out ahead in leads in the last match, but that didn't seem to serve them pretty well. They still struggled to keep Queso out of the net, but that one certainly helps their effort.
I mean, this series, Team Queso are looking more Team Queso-y. You know, it was such a disciplined performance in the first one because that's all they had to do. Now it seems at least that Solary are tempting them to play their high-risk, high-reward game. We've seen it when it works. VK Salen's wonder read for the dunk. For their first goal, and then following up so quickly was Atomic for their second goal. But that is the downside when Team Queso have to play that fast. They can give away freebies. Now it's on to Solary to show the better game management.
Well, VK Sal is feeling good, isn't he? Every time he gets behind the ball, I'm thinking that one's going in. I heard you stump, you're like, oh, that one might go.
This is magic again.
that kind of threat. Yeah, you understand why Johnny in Twitch chat flipped back to Team Queso. Everything we've seen, but Solary able to hang on to this lead. Farah kicking up another under another Queso player. Astral quick off the corner, but no one's going to be available, and Solary will have to try again from midfield.
Oops, just missed Shawset, so now Atomic's in. But across the center, Astral's coming in. Great stop. VK Sailor, I think he has a flip reset here. Oh, he doesn't quite. He must not quite have got it. That could have been really dangerous for Solary again. But Team Queso are not giving up on this one. I think they're having some fun with this one, all of these players right now.
Oh, another save for Farah, but Demensa's ready for it. Double commit, and it works! VK Salen slips under Demensa, and we got a tie game, boys.
It's the 6th goal of this individual game as well, but it fell down to a final error from Solary. But the double commit, that's not going to work every single time, despite the fact that Team Queso have made a career of triple commits. So maybe Solary are going to be able to think that they can hold out a little bit better and then get a goal at the back. But Farah, oh my word, using Queso's speed against them.
Jorby, you saw this coming as well in the last series where you said Farah is the man that can just fake anybody to oblivion. He has proven you correct, and he has made Team Queso look very silly there.
It's not even the first, second, or 5th time that he's tried it either. Eventually, he's gonna find it. This has been the difference for Solary in this game versus the previous match, is that they weren't able to match Queso's scoring. They'd get out ahead by 1 goal. They weren't able to take multi-goal leads, and they weren't able to really fight back against Queso. But now they're matching them tit for tat, and maybe even adding another one as Farah launches it downfield. Shawset will have to wait for the challenge, but he will receive, and Solary will keep the ball pushed in Queso territory.
What a game Farah's had as well. I mean, he's known as somebody that's got clean finishing, but that's his main strat, right? But right now, he is just completely pulling these strings for Solary. And Stumpy, I know that you were upset by Solary's inaccurate passing. Is this more what you want?
Oh, that's exactly what I want, especially with that deft touch round the attacking player from Queso too. Ferra knew what he wanted to do with that ball before the ball was even touched. He managed to get there, tap it round, and then find Chaussette, who was positioned perfectly to receive it as well. Amazing team play, and 2 goals clear now for Solary, nearly 3.
If they can somehow replicate this type of success against Queso, these quick infield passes that are, you know, inside the third of Queso territory, like that's where they've been so threatening, and now they're just winning every challenge, punching in another goal, but they haven't been able to put this form on consistently yet.
I love that from Ferra as well. VK Salem was trying something, whether it was a fake or a flick, and Ferra just said, no, none of that, I'm flying in. And then look who was there for the finish. His first goal of this series was Astral. He's now on the board as well, so he's playing. The Solary machine is word into action right now.
It's a good demo, though, actually. That's a chance for Dementor to shoot on, but inaccurately won't even give them that consolidatory goal as Solary take the first game of the second series in this set, 6 goals to 3.
Wasn't it Shogun that said that Team Queso's defense would be straight up fondue? Must be pretty hot on there on the Queso end, Cole.
Well, I don't know if he meant that as a compliment or an insult when he said that. Is it good to be melted?
Fondue's delicious.
Or is that
When it's Shogun, it's both, right? Yeah.
But I mean, is it because Solary are going to melt their defense? Anyway, it doesn't matter. One way or another, Solary got themselves 6 goals. Ferra with his hat-trick, 941 score. Almost a 1,000-point game for Ferra. That's when you know that Solary are alive and well.
Yeah, I mean, also in that game, they got as many goals as they did in the previous entire series. That 6 in the last series and then 6 in game number 1. That is a gigantic opening for Solary. And if that's how they mean to go on, even if weird goals go in like that from VK Salem, this is going to be just even more fiery.
Right, guys. So I think we all know what's going to happen now. Knowing Team Queso, they're going to be really solid in the next game, right? And just make sure they don't give away any silly goals. Is that what we're expecting?
Is that how it happens? Right? Triple the commit, triple the fun force? What was that
triple the fun do, I think is what they were going to say. Yeah, and maybe Queso's defense is going to be full of holes, like Swiss cheese, if you will.
It's not Swiss anymore, mate. Not since full split.
If you melted Swiss cheese, there wouldn't be any holes in it either. So,
checkmate.
We'll see how Queso open up game 2, though. Right now, it's on offense and winning a couple of challenges, but forced to play inside the corners. Not ideal when trying to fight your way to the net, but a series of nice challenges gives Chaussette the ball, and again, the ball knocked away by VK Salem. Demo, 2 demos. Chaussette has the block, bailing out both of his teammates, despite the hard work from Queso to eliminate them on the pitch.
Such an amazing push-up as well. It's just that intention from Queso to try and break down Solary and every single opportunity, but Chaussette putting a fake on the defense too is going to leave Queso panicking a little bit. Actually, Atomic's slowing down as he tries to move across the pitch too. Not even that low on boost, just threatened by Solary.
Oh, every time you think Solary might get the way out on defense, someone on the rotation comes in for Queso. Last time it was Dementor, this time VK Salem stopping Solary in their tracks, but Chaussette found the angle, and it's too wide. Dementor can carry it back around. Ferra wants to keep it away from Queso to keep the Solary push alive.
Yeah, Solary getting a little bit double committee. It was Chaussette and Ferra who have been very guilty of doing that so far in this set, which is not what we want to see. But Solary to get away with it until then. What a block from Atomic. And VK Salem has his easiest finish of the season.
Just has to tap that in behind him as well. It was Ferra's very loose touch where Atomic absolutely read everything he was doing. Astral only just returning to the pitch in that back corner too. So with a weakened defense, Solary definitely should have taken the touch on the sidewall. Challenged there, bought a little bit of time for the defender to spawn back in. Instead though, rushing leaves Queso with another goal on the way. But no, what a fantastic block from the top corner.
Blocks like that sometimes generate a dangerous transition, and it almost did there for Chaussette. Either way, it did enough to give them another push here. Maybe they can break through. But Queso, antsy to get that ball out of their own half. The 2 committing to the play almost every time on this back wall. Atomic gets the touch first. That's right to Chaussette. Up high, Demenza and VK Salen commit. Farah first to the ball. Pass in front, broken up. Atomic right there to take it away. Chaussette gonna take Atomic off the field as Queso were able to still get the push, but Solary unable to convert.
Yeah, Farah's going to try and get in there, and he just about manages to put VK Salen off. Astral's touch is a little bit awkward. It's just towards Demenza, but they have numbers back. And one thing I want to say is that something that Solary is certainly focusing on a lot more in this game, I'll carry on speaking in a second, because VK Salen has equalized for Team Queso. I was just going to praise Team Solary going for demos and bumps, but when Team Queso escape it, they're still capable of scoring so many goals.
That was nicely placed as well from Salen too, where Demenza faked going for the double. It meant that Farah started to move forward to challenge it high and then reversed back as if he thought Demenza was going to be getting onto that double shot. In the end, though, great touch in. Salen and Demenza both going for the ball again, however. That can't become a habit. We say it often. Astral works his way down the pitch this time. Okay, so with that lead, actually looking very strong.
And now that you say it, though, Astral hasn't really had a lot of space to be Astral, though, has he? It's been a lot of reliance on team plays, which is what they've wanted for a while. They've wanted to do this quick infield passing in the attacking half. You know, don't give Queso like any room to work with, beat them on a fake, that kind of thing. If they don't have to rely on Astral's mechanics, well, that would be all the better for Solary, but they're struggling to get any offense going right now.
Oh, for a second I thought that Chaussette's pass was going to find Astral perfectly, but he was just beaten to it there, so he's going to have to go for the ball slightly later and just sort of slump it into the corner. Not really what he was going for, but I'm sure he'll take it because Solary are starting to knock on that Team Queso door yet again. But time is just beginning to run out, so they're going to have to make something from one of these plays fairly soon, and backwards touches like that, a little bit awkward, aren't what they need.
The possession is definitely falling to Solary, though. They're having so many opportunities to work their way into better situations, but the ball just keeps being given away. Astral there, just sending it onto the side wall where he could have rolled it up, taken a much nicer touch. So Solary being given several chances to make sure that this game goes their way, and not even taking them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that they are playing better than they did in Series 1 in this game, but they're just not having much end product right now, Solary. So credit to Queso for keeping them out, but also credit to Chaussette for keeping that one out.
Wow.
I don't know how he got up there.
Oh, that's such a cheeky save from Atomic. Did you see how early he pre-jumped for that?
That's what Queso do, though. I guess we should have. That's what the answer should have been at the start of the game, right? All right, they've lost the first game in the set. Now what are they going to do? Oh, kick Fair out of the way. That's what they're going to do.
It's so harsh when a player gets bumped out the way when they're in the air, especially when the ball cam doesn't show their opponent. So 1 second they're soaring majestically towards it, the next they're just being bumped to oblivion.
Good return to form for Queso. Solary scoring 6 goals and now going to be scoreless. Astral maybe picking up one. No chance at it. Didn't have the touch. And Farah's just going to let the ball drop back to him, but make no mistake about it. This is a Queso victory on Forbidden Temple. And Solary, I feel like I'm a broken record, guys, but right back where they started in this match against Queso, they needed to start stacking wins against Queso because they just keep snuffing out that flame that Solary want to keep lit.
With every single game that goes past as well, it just becomes so much harder to work their way back into the series because there's so much now that relies on these next 2 games at absolute max, right? Or at minimum, rather, where if Queso win them both, that's Solary gone. We're in a part of the bracket that means that if Queso win it, or if Solary turn it around and win it, the opposition will be going home. There is so much pressure right now where Solary can't let anything slip, where it needs to be perfect touches or at least perfect intention of where you want the ball to go. I don't know how Solary are going to deal with that pressure, considering the fact as well, Jorby, you said that they lost that first series. That's not how a team wants to start when they are not good at dealing with the pressure.
No, absolutely not. And Queso, they just keep hammering the wall, man. Like, if they miss the nail, that's okay. There's a hole in the wall, we'll get another nail, and we'll just keep hammering it. Like, that's Queso. It's like,
it's not how carpentry works. Next touch.
That one, yeah, exactly. That didn't go in. Oh, VK Salen. You could just rotate 3 times by yourself and score a goal. That works. I don't know what to tell Solary at that point. Like, you're trying to play as a unit. You're getting the passes, you're getting the 50s, but you're losing the boost, and the 50s aren't going your way. And that's exactly what Queso want. If they're beating you in that game, you're going to be struggling the rest of the set.
best of 3, best of 5s sounds like a long old set, right? But if Team Queso win this game, then Solary have to win the next 2 to save their entire season. They are on the precipice of 8-9 months of hard work ending right here, right now. So right now, the difference in pressure between these 2 teams is astronomically higher for Solary, and they have to figure out a way to deal with that.
It's also not just the fact it's the last 8 or 9 months, because they put in a gargantuan amount of work to get here in the final season push. It was just spring that did an incredible job for them. Getting into grand finals in spring was so huge for their chances. Attaining the major spot got them to this point. It locked in so many points, and now they are proving that is why they are here. That pass from Farah is sensational.
Oh, it's a Doomsy dish. Chaussette has helped it along. I like to think it would have been saved and that wasn't a goal steal from Chaussette. I doubt Farah will care as much as I do, just because I love seeing Doomsy dishes fly in. But what a play that was from Farah either way.
And that was a tough situation for VK Salen to be in. He couldn't quite grab the first touch that he wanted off the backboard. And then the second shot came in and he thought the best option he has is to come down, try to force the ball, pinch it on the ground. And unfortunately, the rest of his team just wasn't positioned in a way that made that play not awkward for them. So Queso letting in that first goal, but maybe getting a 1 right on the back. Chaussette can't get the 50. And Queso will play on here in the blue half.
We're also seeing Astral switch over to the NASCAR as well for this series, where you don't normally see it. You don't normally see too many other cars being utilized, and he's one of the few players that uses the NASCAR. I don't see anybody else doing that. He looks very comfortable in it. He changed to that at the end of the spring split as well, the major as well. He was playing through with the NASCAR. So certainly in that mindset of winning today and definitely trying to get as much on his side as possible.
And it's also because he is an emotional player, ultimately, as VK Salen dives over the top and Chaussette arrives to get a really tricky save. Maybe that is a way he's found to keep himself calm. The classic placebo of changing your car and suddenly everything being happy and reset. If that works for him, then that is brilliant that he's discovered it. Oh my goodness, is that going in? Nice. That could have gone anywhere.
And that mental change with car changes, it's felt also, I would say physically on the pitch, as Chaussette gets another goal for Solary here. Finish that point later. Astral with a nice carry and almost got the bump on VK Salen, forced a bad touch regardless.
Yeah, that's all it meant in the end. It was not a successful hit, even with the very lengthy cut that he has chosen to go for. It is just the fact that then VK Salen has to wait stationary in the air and then dodge into it. Couldn't go too far. Great setup, and Solary with the 2-goal lead.
Oh, nice win from Atomic. That could have been more pressure from Solary. Astral forced up to make the save against Atomic, but the challenge goes right off the crossbar. No shot for Demensa. VK Salen next up off the back walls. He has a lane, took out Farah. Now a catch in front, but Demensa can't quite work his way around to Atomic.
These are the moments where Solary have to stand so tall. They've been 2 goals up before in this series, and it did go back to 2-2, even though they ended up winning that game. Here now it's looking like Team Queso are just starting to build up a little bit of momentum, and Solary have done so well to beat them away, and now they're having some pressure of their own.
Ooh, hard shot, but Farah was ready for it and gets the squeeze right by 2 Queso attackers. Demensa will pick up his own boost, fight Astral off for the ball. But Queso will get the clear downfield. Atomic all over that one. And still, they're just able to grab every single ball. Demensa ready for that one too. Chaussette out of boost. He's got to rely on Astral. He doesn't have a lot in the tank either. Still the ball kicked up high in front of the box. Shot taken away by Farah. Off the corner, grabbed again. But nobody's ready for Queso, so Chaussette gets the clearance lane. Farah harassing Atomic on the back, but Queso will grab the ball again.
That took all 3 players from Solary to keep that shot out as well, as it ricocheted off the crossbar. Suddenly, a little bit of hope at the end of the tunnel for Solary to get another goal, and it comes just 20 seconds later. Astral tipping it in quick as you like. Fantastic setup, and what a read.
Oh, so speedy. He knew exactly where that ball was going. As soon as Astral rises for a shot like that, and there is no one challenging the ball, and the goalkeeper is in an awkward position, you just know he is going to score it. And that is probably game 3 over.
Probably. Queso only registering, I said only, but they registered 7 shots on net. You've matched Solary an offensive output, yet the ball flies right by Atomic into Farah's bumpers, and Solary putting on another offensive outlet here. 4 goals to their name.
This is the most inconsistent game series that we're seeing as well, where in the first game, Solary had 6 goals. Then they went goalless, and now they've got 4. If they manage to shut out Queso in this game as well, it will be the first time Queso in this entire series haven't scored in a game. That is a statement going forward, especially when their life is on the line.
It's a statement going forward as well. The way they have played this one with such confidence and taken the few chances that they've really managed to forge, they've looked like a scary team to defend against. And when there's so much pressure on Solary that I mentioned earlier, they've basically said to Team Queso, if you're going to beat us in this set, you have to beat us. We are not letting you have anything.
I mean, Shawset just then literally took his hands off the controller just to scratch his face. Like he was just at the back, just chilling, and just literally put his controller on his lap and just scratched his head for a second, and then got back into the game. Solary are feeling it finally, and with this win, it then just needs 1 more, and we may well go to the full length of the series.
Well, I think that after that, Team Queso are going to be scratching their heads themselves, thinking, how do we defeat this new version of Solary?
With magic, mate.
Now Solary taking the game. How will Queso fare? I don't know. I don't know where the out is for Queso, but if it goes the way the rest of the matches have gone, well, they might start off really strong with some offense. Hard to say, though. Solary, they do look powerful right now because of everything that you guys have said. You know, the Queso just haven't been able to win those 50s. I said at the beginning of the game, you know, when Queso are winning those 50s and they're winning that boost battle, it's hard for Solary to get anything done. And that seems to be where the crux is for the match. If they're able to control the offensive corner boosts and win those 50s, then Solary, they're going to beat Queso on defense, and they're going to have that massive outpouring of offense that we've seen twice now in this game, or in this series.
Yeah, and Solary were playing Queso's game. Like, they were outspeeding. They were going for the confident shots. The main one being Astral's unbelievable read from the side. We're going to be seeing that again in this replay as well. But it was Solary opening up the shooting so early on too. And one thing that I think is fantastic that we've seen from Solary is their variation in shots too, where we've seen them not only go for a couple of fantastic redirects, we've seen them going for some passing plays, we've seen them try everything. And having that ability to go for everything as well is certainly saying that they need to be pressing more, because they are a very multi-talented, multi-faceted team. And team plays is something, Cole, that I know that me and you both love to see.
Absolutely. I think that everybody who watches Rocket League eSports loves a team play. A pinch-perfect infield pass is a sight to behold, just because it involves 2 players being in the perfect position at any one time. The amount of communication that has to go into it is always unparalleled. And Solary are finally finding each other. You know, they were putting forward some passes in series past and in games past that never really looked like they were going to do anything. And that just seems to have changed. And as for Team Queso, I mean, do they just carry on doing what they're doing? I mean, maybe that's a silly question for Team Queso, because that is what Team Queso do. But would you suggest, Stumpy, that they have to just tweak things at all now?
I think that Solary at least is wresting a lot of the control of the game away from them. We saw them have a lot of control of the previous game as well, and previous games in the last series, but they didn't do anything with it. The difference now is that Solary are doing something with it. They're playing the ball close to their chest, so then they maintain that possession, they maintain that gameplay for a little bit longer, and can then draw in an attacker or a defender, depending on where they are, for that slightly better chance of the ball then slipping through the back line. Solary are being more efficient with their time used. Queso, therefore, can't be letting the ball fall to Solary as often as it currently is. I wonder if they can do it, because we're seeing every player from Solary be the quickest version of them we've seen for such a long time.
Well, just to keep everyone updated, we are doing a server remakes. That's why we're a little slow getting into the next game, Solary versus Team Queso. As soon as we get the server back up and running, we will get the game right underway. But I want to shoot it back to you, Cole. And, you know, a lot of talk about Solary, what they've been able to do right. But what about Queso now? Because they've been in the driver's seat for most of this set. But now the tables have turned, and it's Solary that are throwing the punches. So, like, what's got to crack for Queso to get back into the driver's seat?
I feel like Atomic has to get back to playing his best. He was such a dangerous player in that first series. And even in the first game, he managed to get himself 1, a goal, and 2, the read that really brought them back into the game. I think that was in game number 2, which they won 2-0. He has been their focal point in attack throughout, and he just went a little bit quiet in that one. Couldn't get a clean touch. Perhaps that's a credit to Solary because they're closing him down more quickly when he gets the ball. But one way or another, they have to make sure that that man has as much play as he can possibly get because he's their star man today.
Stumpy, what about you? How do you feel about Queso and what they have to do? You agree with Cole, or?
I think they're so close to the finish line, and they have done it before, and they're going to know that they've done it before. And the last thing that I want to see them do is change. I really don't. They've done so well with their current playstyle, where they do attempt to outspeed Solary at every opportunity. Before, I mean, we saw Atomic outspeed Ferra like 4 or 5 car lengths repeatedly. The speed that they have got is being underutilized so far, but as we look back through some of the highlights of this series so far, we can see that Solary have been in it very, very often. They've not been demolished too much. The only demolishing game that we've actually seen came at the hands of Solary versus Queso. That was that 6-3, and then this 4-0 as well. Otherwise, Queso have just snuck a victory with a couple of goals, one or two typically. One thing that Queso need to avoid doing, as I said earlier, is relinquishing control of the ball. That is going to be their biggest challenge because we're seeing Solary be so much more comfortable with control of that ball as well, that every time they get it, they're not going to be handing it away. I think Queso may well also be undone by trying to go for a couple of very cheeky pre-jumps as well and trying to go for a couple more blocks where maybe they should be waiting, seeing what the final result is, because Ferra, he's already shown that he can make anybody on the Queso look very silly by faking them out.
Yeah, well, it's been such a good weapon. I was going to say, sorry, Jobby, it's been such a good weapon for Solary. The fact that Ferra is able to just completely change the pace in an instant with these fakes and with these 50-50s. And if Solary continue to use him as the weapon he has been, then I'm saying they're just about favorites, maybe in this set. Although I do think overall, Team Queso are still my favorites.
I think I'm liking Queso still as well, despite another performance where they just let Solary out too much. Like you said, giving up possession of the ball too much. And I think it's those Solary mix-ups that are really forcing Queso to adapt on the fly, almost with each touch. And if Solary remain that unpredictable, you know, I see why Johnny had Solary at the very start of this set. You know, they have this gear that they can hit, that when they are asked to perform and they need to smother their opponent, they absolutely can. It's just there's a lot of moving parts that have to work for this team to work. Right now, they're all gelling really well. Can it continue, or can Team Queso find their way back in? Right now, Solary trying to take this to a 3rd series.
We were speaking earlier as well about the pressure that has fallen to everybody on Solary. The biggest thing, the biggest player for this as well, the pressure is on Astral. Right now, he is technically, let's bear in mind, defending his Season 9 championship win. There has not been a championship since then. This is Season X after all. That was when he won it back with Dignitas over Vitality. He's changed teams since then, but if they go out here, Astral's dreams can say bye-bye.
Well, will they or will they not? I was so impressed with the performance that we saw from Solary in that last game to keep Team Queso out, who are playing so hot, who have such attacking prowess between all 3 of them, was incredibly impressive. But they still have to go one step further, Stumpy. Solary still have to get over that finish line. And that is something that Solary have struggled to do so far throughout this season. You have a theory that they have a day 3 curse.
Yeah, they do. It's unfortunate because Solary is such a fun team to watch as well, and it's great to see them perform as well as they can do. But the issue is they always do that on day 1 and 2 if they're ever going to perform, and that gets them to final brackets. It gets them to the end of tournaments where the crowd is all riled up. But then, cue the day 3 curse. It comes in, they don't know how to play Rocket League, it seems like sometimes, and it all just falls apart. Queso, they are hoping by every single hope that this is not a hot day for them. Solary fans, though, that is what they're seeing right now. A single win in this series may well turn it round, and the set could change hands in an instant. Solary, one more game, we go to the 3rd series in this set, and sure, Seth is trying to find that goal with every intention.
Well, you will be pleased to hear if you are a Solary fan. This is not day 3. This is day 1 of these championships. So maybe we'll see them continue to be the favored team in this series. They've started this game well as well. They're passing the ball around quite neatly. Though as I say that touch from Astral was a little bit inaccurate. He'll keep on going. Atomic's there, the 50-50 into the center. VK7's going to clear it in Chaussette. They cannot throw away easy goals like that, Solary. That was the mistake they made in the first series.
That was such a close pinch that we've seen in highlight reels previously, but the save was perfect. Astral trying to go for the musty double tap. This is coming in huge at this point because it's just seeing that confidence from Solary. But there's one person, Cole, whose opinion that I would desperately like to know. I wonder what Turtle thinks about all of this.
No, nobody needs to know what I think about this, okay? That is the last thing anybody cares about, but I'm gonna give you my opinion anyway, and that's VK Salem. He's too good right now coming out here. I wasn't even gonna compliment him, but at the end of the day, you gotta give him credit where credit is due.
Yeah, he's been another one of those players for Team Queso, along with Atomic, that has just been playing so incredibly well. Welcome, Turtle, to our little tricast. Unfortunately, Jorby was having some tech issues, so we brought you in. So for the rest of at least this series, we'll hear the sweet sounds of Mr. Isaac App. Good to have you on board. And
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, where are you leaning with this one? Do you think, even with infield passes like this, Queso have a chance against Solary?
See, I'm not trying to ride the momentum here, but I would have picked Solary coming into this series. I think that it all comes down to Farah. I saw him get a mind game earlier on in this series, and as soon as I saw that, it sold me. I think that the Solary team has what it takes to make the comeback even after the first set loss. I think they're going to make that stance here.
That was such a perfect pass in as well. We've seen Chaussette get on the end of a couple of passes. Not all of them go as well as that did, but a 72 mile per hour absolute sling slang just below the crossbar is going to be giving Solary the equalizing goal. 90 seconds left though. Queso needs to see another one. A pass from Queso to Solary though. Leaves it flying to Atomic, goes in for the double tap, and the own goal benefiting Queso in the end.
Oh, no. I think I brought the bad luck. I've completely brought the bad luck. Look at this early shot from Atomic, and then the defense. I called Farah out. I thought Farah was looking fantastic. How was he going to do this to me?
History will say that is Atomic's 8th goal of this series, of the set. But all of you watching this right now will know that unfortunately Farah was following it home and managed to get himself an own goal. That is not what you want to see unless you are a Team Queso fan and they regain the lead.
It's a chance again though for Farah to drop it down. Good clear as it goes long. Chaussette to send high. Just getting rid of a lot of this pressure, though, and that's what we saw them do before when they ended up losing the series. Solary have done best when they keep close control. Chaussette doing exactly that. Draws the defender out, and now the push can continue.
I do like that patience there from Chaussette. It's the slower approach that we're seeing from Solary that I think gives them the benefit. You know, you have Team Queso, they're trying to outpace Solary in every aspect of the game, so when you hit the brakes, that can completely change the dynamic, but you've only got 40 seconds left. You need to make a move down the field.
Oh, this is so dangerous for Queso.
Oh, my God!
He was just hovering, saying, Astral, do your thing. I am here to help you. Look at the poor defender.
That's a 1v3, and that is brutality witnessed here in this series. To bring it even with that goal is all-inspiring. Astral bringing Solary to the precipice of this game now. Final 30, they're looking strong.
You even had Farah in the backfield who sacrificed his car, then another one for Astral. How does this slip in? The defense, nowhere to be found from Team Queso.
Turtle, when you joined this voice chat, it was 0-0, and it looked like a fairly dead close game. Suddenly, there's own goals, there's fakes, there's counter-attacks. Everything's getting a little bit silly, but one way or another, Solary are on the precipice of taking us to the 3rd series of this set.
Solary has just come out of their shell, and they are looking like a brand new team. A touchdown from Dementa will not find that bottom corner, though. They need an equalizer. Otherwise, the 3rd series in this set will be found. Atomic Central, a touch from Chaussette, just keeps it away from the defenders.
We're running out of time now. There's going to be no chance at all for Queso to come back. And by 3 games to 1, Solary take it. What a surprise that the very first set in these EU championships is going to go all the way. It just wouldn't be Rocket League if it didn't go all the way.
Absolutely. I mean, I brought the chaos. I'm happy right now because that game we came out started with Team Queso looking dominant, and then we got Solary making the comeback. All started with Chaussette on that passing play. Then Astral worked a little bit of his magic, and that's what you expect from Solary coming in against Team Queso, to use that control, that pace control, and the speed to his advantage.
Yeah, and they look great as they did it as well. Solary, finally, they started to throw away a bit of that possession. That is their biggest game so far. It's the possession game. Despite the fact they had a lot of the ball, they weren't doing everything with it that we always wanted them to. But now, clever passes, clever play, Astral looking on fire, but very importantly, not selfish or frustrated. He is looking like an incredible team player. And Solary, maybe, just maybe, this is the start of the tournament that will not see a day 3 curse come in.
Absolutely. I mean, Astral has been fairly quiet throughout. He's had his moments, but he hasn't been Astrally, and that's because we have such high standards for him, because he is ultimately a genius of the game. In that final series, or in that final game in that series, he suddenly came to life. And as mentioned, we are going to have a Series 3 in this opening set. I could not be more excited. Make sure you join us back in a few minutes and we'll get things kicking off. For one of these teams, their season will end in 5 games time. I'm Cole here with Turtle and Stumpy. And Stumpy, big question. Angry Cheese Pog?
I think so. I think it has to be, right? Because the issue with going with Queso here is that I think that you can't be too confident that they're going to be repeating what they did in Series 1. That was a fantastic showing by them, but Solary have learned. They have turned it around, and they are looking so much stronger now.
I just love the fact that we can flip around with our predictions. This is amazing. You know, it's almost like a cheat code now coming out here. We see Johnny Boy swapping sides. Chat has swapped sides multiple times, but I'm just going to say it. I've been on Solary the entire series, or at least every cast I've had, all right? They look good. Ferris had the mind games. We've gotten some solid Queso recovery, but in that last game, they just threw it away and completely whiffed on that last attempt to win.
Well, if it is a cheat code, then clearly Johnny has got that cheat code absolutely wrong, because he is on the cusp of getting 3 predictions wrong in the same set, which would be...
That's a record.
Exactly. It must be. I mean, this is the first time we've done this in a long time anyway, so I can only imagine it would be a record. I think for that reason, a lot of people will be rooting for Queso here, but Solary don't care who you're rooting for, because Astral's arriving at the far post to give them an early lead.
Ferret just twisting so delicately, then going below Atomic to get that double tap off the backboard as well. Astral can sneak it in off the right post. Solary already starting the series how they want to go on. And you don't normally see Ferret go for those mechanical plays, Turtle.
Yeah, and that was actually a relatively difficult shot, too, from Astral, where you had to pinch it off the crossbar, the post. That one I thought would slip in. Solary, they are aggressive, and just like you mentioned, Stumpy, the air roll, the mechanics from Farah. It's like you said, it's a rare thing to see, but that just proves he's got confidence on the pitch and he's feeling himself.
It's a rare but a beautiful thing to see. And in this set so far, Farah has looked absolutely brilliant, with the fakes especially, but also, as you guys mentioned, that arrow button just starting to come into contention a little bit more. And as we saw in the last series, Team Queso are on the back foot from the early doors. Solary looking like themselves, looking like the better team right now, but VK Salem is always dangerous. Atomic even more so, and Atomic adds another one to his set tally.
Vital equalizer, only 30 seconds past the point where they had just conceded, and the slight touch off down from VK Salem gives Atomic an opening in the top right corner of the net as well. Team Queso not wanting to have this series just go down as a 1-0 in game number 1. We're just going to see so much speed and so much outplay from both of these teams.
I actually really loved Atomic's positioning there as well. He saw that VK Salem was going to get the second touch and had faith, so therefore stayed forward and was confident in his teammates. That's a difficult play to even make in general, but to see that happen on the field in game 1, those jitters, the emotions, they're all out the way. They don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, none of these players are playing with any nerves at all right now. They're all looking like they want to win as opposed to wanting to avoid losing. And that's exactly what we want to see as a spectacle. And it's what these teams need to do. If they do progress in this tournament into the real money, then they're going to have to take it to their opponents. So a great start for them in this game. VK Salem's approaching Farah, but Farah's speed was good enough. And look at that. He set up Astro who can go to the ceiling. It's the next touch as well. Dementor's reading him, and that is something, Stumpy, I've noticed throughout this entire series. Whenever Astral has taken to the air, even if they can't necessarily get a block, somebody from Team Queso has been closing him down so quickly. Oh,
yeah, and making sure that then whenever he does have a chance to, that he doesn't go uncontested because of what he can actually do in the air. You saw there as well, he tried to air dribble it into a pinch alongside Shorset. Couldn't get the pinch off, but has the speed to be the defender at the back. He was on his way down while the defender still had time to get up.
This was a double commit. You saw Astral jump in the same shot that Chaussette was going for, but then the recovery. You saw how quickly Astral was to get up and have a follow-up touch to beat out the defender, get the goal, and take the lead. A little bit over 2 minutes left, but that type of recovery is what you're going to need from Solary.
It was also pretty awkward from Demensa there, doing that U-turn directly underneath the ball. And against many players, you can get away with that. But Astral sees things happening before they occur, and he was in the perfect position to get that dunk on poor old Demensa, and he's coming forwards again. The double tap going all the way along the backboard. Chausette's going to keep it going. Now here comes Farah. Pass or shoot is the question. It's onto the backboard. Atomic, and it was VK Salen pulled into a double commit. They would not have enjoyed.
There's so many clutch moments that are coming in from passes from Solary where you wouldn't expect for there to be a pass. Astral securing the flip reset, but tapped over the crossbar by Demensa. They're with a weak shot to the side, but Atomic still managing to miss it. VK Salen sends it high, will get caught out by an attacking player. It's Astral just again trying to go for these long reaches around the ball. Right, Astral's ground pinch was good there, but it was Demensa was just not in front of the ball when he could have been.
Yeah, we're looking at this challenge. It's so awkward, and then Astral just keeps going. There is no hesitation. He didn't even stop boosting to get that final pinch call.
Yeah, absolutely. In this battle between Astral and Demensa, there is only one winner so far. Demensa is not able to lay a glove on his Belgian opponent. Astral's having so much fun. Look, he's taken Atomic out of the game there. Shorset's coming in. He has a chance to score. 4-1 Solary. Stumpy, is this what you expected?
This is more than I expected. It's everything that I've dreamed of for the last 9 months. Since we saw Solary have a roster, formerly Oxygen, being that team touted to take down Vitality. Finally, they're coming together and looking phenomenal. It's what we've seen them do on day 3s very rarely. In earlier days in the tournament, much more frequently. I'm hoping whatever happens, and if these guys stay in the tournament, we don't see this as a one-day affair.
Yeah, I mean, Astral was coming again there. It was the final ingredient that Solary needed. Astral to be Astral, to have just a little bit of time on the ball, to make Team Queso scared. And look at them, they're terrified now. Atomic's closing him down. His touch is a little bit weak outside. Chausette's helping him out. Astral's got to finish this one. Astral has done his best. It's not quite gone in, but he is having so much of the play. And Turtle is making Solary look incredibly dangerous. Here's another one almost.
Well, I've also noticed there's so much space on the backboard for that Team Queso are just giving away to Solary. And you've got somebody like Astral who's heating up right now in this set. And if you give him any space, he's going to make a play regardless. We've already seen it happen on challenges, but now he's getting backboard space to hit those double taps, go off of the backboard even, and get the crazy redirects. That is something Team Queso have got to tighten up and get somebody on the backboard.
Great block out from Shorset, though, meaning that this game, in this series, in this set, is going to be ending 4-1 at minimum. And that is an appearance we've waited for Solary to lock in the early days, like we said, of an event. This can happen. And it's a Solary that looks like they can be the top of Europe. They can take down the top teams. They can nearly score amazing own goals at the death of a game. But Astral, at the front of that lineup, looks to be the dagger in the heart of Queso.
Well, my memory isn't fantastic, but from what I can think off the top of my head, that's the first game where Solary have consistently seemed the much better team. They have had big victories where they've taken their chance than Team Queso haven't, right? But all the way up the pitch, Solary were better. Solary were better. The 50-50 game, Solary were better. Speed, Solary were better. Mechanically, they were better. If I'm Team Queso, I'm looking at myself now thinking, how do we recover from that?
Oh, it's going to be so difficult. But again, I'm going to allude to the backboard defense. It seems like Team Queso are prioritizing a rotation directly to the net instead of analyzing the play and realizing that there's all this space off the backboard. You've got Astral going for demos, and it's going to be difficult to even rotate in general. But somebody's got to get on that backboard. Astral's too good right now. He is warmed up and ready to go, Stumpy.
The thing is, even if Astral doesn't get the goal, which in that match he did get a hat-trick, so it does look likely, Ferret and Chaussette are pushing up in such clever positions that they just seem to know where the ball is going to fall, even if it's an awkward pinch or somehow those weird smooshy quadruple touches that just manage to fall awkwardly.
Smoochy.
They are both. They're smooshy, Turtle. They're smooshy. I'm happy that you said the word smoosh. Yeah, Chaussette and Ferret just know where to be. They understand what is going on in Astral's head, and my God, does that make them terrifying.
Smooshette.
Very good.
Chaussette, if you wanted. If he gets one, I'm going to say that really confidently.
I wouldn't like for you to have said it, but we're in this world now.
Well, that is what is going to happen. And maybe what is going to happen as well is that Team Solary are going to continue to run rings right now against Team Queso. Team Queso, we were praising their defending so much, particularly in the first series, but even in the second one, they looked like they were keeping Solary at bay. But in that last game, their rotations were just a little bit thin. They weren't going out wide enough, trying to rush these clearances, and Solary was swallowing them whole.
There's just so many double commits we're seeing left and right. Now the backboard wide open. All three players in relatively the same position. It's about a matter of time before something breaks down. Another shot off the crossbar, and it slips in. We were just waiting for this to happen, Stumpy.
I looked at the boost of these three players. Until Atomic grabbed that 100 boost, they were on 0-0-12. A single pad to share between them. And it was just a matter of time, as you said, Turtle, before finally that goal can go in the back of the net. That's the first 45 seconds of this second game, and Solary look like that? Oh, okay, so you've got a big hill ahead of you.
They do, absolutely. They're going to need to get some, even some clean chances going fairly soon. They're not able to win anything. They're never getting to these balls right now. Look at that. Demensa gets it, but where's it going? It's to the side where Ferrer is just waiting. He can pick his spot, wind up a clearance, send it long, and then he begins to put the squeeze on himself. And already, even after a couple of clean Team Queso touches, it's Solary that are looking the more likely. This is just a thing of beauty to behold right now. The step up that we've seen, it also celebrates this format in general. The team that has more consistency, the team that's more intelligent on the pitch, is the one that's going to win these sets. Well, we've got Demensa going up, trying to get something going for Queso. VK Salem is following up, but it's not going to happen for him. So now Chaussette comes forward for 50-50. Ferrer's first to it. VK Salem demoed Chaussette. That could be absolutely massive because Chaussette was waiting for that bounce from the ceiling. So now Solary are going to have to come again. But every time they're getting the ball, they are getting so much territory. And then we've still got the 50-50 game that Astral is proven that he's strong with, and we know that Chaussette is a genius in that regard.
Well, I mean, I wanted to pose a question to you two. I mean, do you think that it benefits Solary that they've got such a dynamic offense with, you know, Astral being so aggressive and then Chaussette with the patience of a madman willing to dribble it out and just take the game completely down a notch?
I mean, the main thing I think that to go along with that is that when you say that Chaussette is sort of able to take those slower plays and go a little bit more calculated, both Chaussette and Astral can also play the opposite role, so you don't even know what you're getting in with the same player. To use an American analogy, it's just it's touchdown after touchdown in this game of baseball.
Thank you. I understand that completely, even though, you know, it was a close attempt. I like it, and this was not a close shot from Astral. This was directly on point and in the top corner.
Yeah, the three-point line zone has been swooped into there by Astral, straight into the goal. You love to see it from him. Yeah, we're really appealing to our American friends right now. Yeah, Solary are just carrying on doing what they did in that first game. They've slowed down a little bit compared to game one, not quite as explosive, but their defending has been so much better that Team Queso haven't really had any clear-cut chance that it could be three as well. Ooh, just waiting, showing patience, but maybe a little bit too slow there from Farah.
Definitely wanted a harder hit to go in for that shot, but the 2-0 will still mean that Solary have got a convincing lead. Bounces high, one player has to get to that with VK Salem and Demensa burning 200 boost between them to get to a single ball that falls to Solary anyway. It's not the way to go forwards. VK Salem from the ceiling to the backboard, but Astral's nose is next to it. Demensa with a shot central. Finds Atomic, but Chaussette with a great interception. Astral, look at that confidence of just waiting down the pitch, knowing that the ball will find him and the shot is going to come out.
And even then, Astral had no boost, but he stayed in that position. Meanwhile, if you flip the script and Team Queso were in that situation, they'd have somebody rotating all the way back. They're a little bit too concerned right now on getting that boost and staying supersonic instead of taking the right choice and staying in position to make a play, even if it's not going to lead to a goal.
we are on the cusp of Team Queso needing a reverse sweep to save their season. It might get even more painful if this one turns into an own goal. VK Salem had to turn quick to get back to there, but just look at the pressure that continues on from Solary. Another shot from Ferrer. It's saved well by Atomic. VK Salem can follow it, and he needs something to happen, but the dribbles aren't quite working. The passes aren't being met. The mechanics aren't coming to anything. No matter what Queso are trying, Solary have an answer.
That answer as well is falling so frequently to Astral. He is looking like a brand new player. He's been putting in quite clearly the hours of that teamwork. His biggest thing, we said at the start of this series as well, is will he try and take it on his shoulders when things go wrong? And the answer to that is no, he hasn't. He hasn't been selfish, and that's not me putting him down. That is me blowing him up. I'm so happy that we're seeing him have a different style of gameplay. And with the final 15 seconds, it's a style of gameplay that has made Solary an unbelievably competitive team. They're taking out all of their anger that they had in Regional 2 in that Grand Finals versus Queso, when Queso took it before. And looking potentially, if they get this game, to sweep in the final series and secure the inaugural reverse sweep in this set.
Turtle, Solary by far and away the best team twice in a row.
Yeah. Well, I like how when you talk about Astral and fitting in with this roster and making sure he's not being too aggressive or trying to take it all on his shoulders, in your words. It's nice, he's not forcing it, and that's how I feel. We also have a timeout call for Team Queso. Let's see what they have to do. And these have played a huge effect, timeouts. But at the end of the day, we are what, 2 series in? How much of an impact do you guys think this is going to have on?
I think it has to. I mean, Team Queso, they're a team that they were born in inconsistency and shock and fire and thunder, right? This is how they play Rocket League. They will not fear a situation like this. They're going to continue to do what they've always done, which is try and be as fast as possible and try and go for everything and try and break through Solary. That could work in their favor, especially if they manage to steal a game and suddenly Solary are the ones that are looking nervier. Maybe you're disagreeing with me, Stumpy, but I can't see this timeout really a tactical timeout. It's more of a breather.
I think a breather can end up doing a lot of good, though, for a team. Even if they don't change their tactic.
Absolutely.
Just taking another minute just to let Solary cool down as well and just give Queso a moment to think. It might buy them a game. That's good enough for now, because they are now fighting game by game. They can't look at this series as a whole, because if they do, they're going to get overwhelmed. It's 3 games in a row they're going to need to win. That's how they win this series. That's how they win the set. Solary need 1, and they are about to go again in the biggest game of their lives so far.
And they've got to keep the heat. I mean, this is the first 30 seconds that we just saw that first goal. They brought pressure instantly. Right off the kickoff, they were in the face of Team Queso, applying, boost stealing, getting a couple of demos. You saw Astral already with the aggression. And now this timeout, will that make them kind of fizzle out? That's the question. Do they keep up the momentum? They need Farrah, the team captain, to be in the comms and keep Astral motivated.
I think that Team Queso, they need a quick start here. And when I say quick, I don't mean racing to the ball as quickly as they can. I mean, they need to start where they're the better team on the pitch for the first 30, 40 seconds. Because if Solary continue to begin with such blistering pace and control that we've seen from them in this entire series, maybe that's going to be game over for Queso. But this is better.
Oh, that's what you wanted.
Straight in from Atomic.
The first 8 seconds as well, Cole, let alone 30 or 40 off the kickoff. Atomic, the ball falls to him. Ferrer had actually a not zero chance of saving that. It wasn't the quickest shot. It was right above him. He just took the gamble to move slightly to his left, when in fact the shot went slightly to his right.
Well, he also had Demensa bumping him as well, which made it even harder, Turtle.
Exactly, and that's exactly who I was going to mention. Demensa was in the right position and wasn't just chasing the ball alongside whoever was directly behind it. He was in his own lane, trying to fill his own role and get that demo. Team Queso are spreading out. It's what they needed to do all series long, and finally it's working out in the first 30 seconds.
Let's see if they can continue to build upon this. It's looking all right for them so far. Demensa and Atomic, the two of them, really putting some more pressure on the Solary goal. It's a decent touch from Demensa, but VK Salem didn't see it coming on that occasion. And Farrah has just completely taken away any chance of Astral getting an absolutely massive cook zip hit, which is something he's done many times before.
How big do we reckon that sigh was that came out of Astral when that came in? Or did he hold back the sigh for the sake of the team?
Everyone in Twitch chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to see where you thought that one would have landed on the sighometer.
Yeah, solid 8. Solid 8.
Wow. I think he held the sigh within him. I don't think it came to the surface. I think
I think it was a joking sigh, all right? They're feeling good, they're confident. You give a sigh, you roast Farah a little bit, keep the energy up, all right? Maybe the Cookseer pinch would have went in, but is that even important whenever you have Astral roasting Farah in the middle of comms? That's what they need.
Mate, you're actually dead on. Keeping things light, the brevity is what Solary need to rely on, because right now Team Queso are putting the pressure right back on them. VK Salon is coming in towards the backboard. This one will go. Shorset does leave that one for Astral. Farah's followed quickly, but Dementor was even faster. He's been quiet this series. He tries to get that one across the goal. Shorset was stranded, but Atomic couldn't close it down quickly enough. And that's a great touch from Astral. He wants the double tap, but he's run out of boost. But the thing is, the fact that you're already saying no way, Turtle, you just believe that as soon as Astral gets that touch, he is going to score. It's that likely.
Oh, 100%. He didn't have any boost, but even then, I still believe in him. Exactly that's terrifying. I still believe in this man. What he has, nothing left in the tank. Somehow he's going to make it work. And Team Queso, they've adjusted. This has looked so much better from them in the entire series, at least in this initial game. The start was strong. The pace was there, which is what you asked for, Cole. And now they're managing this Astral offense.
He's going again, though, from the ceiling, just pushing it just about wide, and Team Queso survive yet again. So Astral is starting to come into this game, which is a great sign for Solary fans. Shorset's got a dribble on the way as well. Dementor's going to cut in. VK Salon's a little bit awkward and backwards. Wants to get this 100 boost if he can. He's managed to do it. And now Team Queso will probably breathe a sigh of relief. Decent defending from Team Queso, actually, you got to say.
Yeah, Queso have done a fantastic job so far, and they need to. They have lost 4 games in a row to Solary, the biggest streak in this as well in terms of losses. The final 2 in that last series, then of course the first 2 in this one. Having this lead is it's huge for them. They needed to get that early. They managed to. The final 2 minutes of game management, though, is going to be where their time could continue or where it's going to end. And Astral with 100 boost, he is going to try and make anything happen to secure Solary's chances of just closing it out now.
But the closing down there by Dementor was so good, it almost led to another chance for Team Queso. A second goal here could really give them a good chance in this game, the one they have to win above all else. Dementor's just going to swing past that one. It was so close to going in. Team Queso would love a freebie, and that was almost it.
Well, we've got about 1 minute and 17 seconds left, and you remember what happened in the final game of Series 2. It was looking like Team Queso were putting up a fight, and this is what happens. Team Queso falling apart in the crucial moments of every game.
How on earth has that managed to find its way in with 2 defenders sitting on the back line? Nobody could get to it. It didn't have speed, it didn't have pace, but it had the back of the net.
It's because they wanted the ones all along the board. It was 1-11 and 1 goal each. It's the only explanation.
That's it. That's all it can be. And, mate, they're romantics for a bit of symmetry, cake, so we've always said it.
We have always said that about them, if nothing else. Well, they need to step up yet again to put Solary back under pressure. And another double commit. Farah could be exactly what Solary needs. Spencer, he shoots the corner. And Farah can't quite get it. Team Queso have got it back. Astral's head was in his hands after that one. I think it hurt.
That's rough. To just have the final touch as well be from Farah, who earlier on did get the awkward touch away from Astral as well. Didn't lead to a goal, but the psyometer, maybe the top of it is bulging like in a cartoon.
Yeah. Now we're definitely at an 8. We're definitely hitting an 8. Come on.
Sure.
Oh, your scale is harsh if that's only an 8. I was thinking 11 out of 10 there.
You know what? It was kind of like a teamwork play. You know, there was a chance for, I believe, Astral to get the save after the follow-up on the 4th touch from Astral. Or, excuse me, from Farah. But still, this is even closer now for Team Queso. I had questioned them in the final, I'd say, minute or so of every single game, but they have proven themselves here with great passing off the backboard.
They had a fantastic chance as well to just try and shut this game out at 1-0. The 1 goal from Solary didn't faze them. They brought a couple back, and it has ignited the fire underneath Queso again. Now, the thought is, for Solary, they still have a timeout, bear in mind. Every team gets 1 per series in their set. They are able to call 1 per series. So in theory, 3 maximum per set that they're going to be playing each day. Solary have not used theirs in this series yet. They can only use one. Do they use it now? Because
no
I
way,
feel like
no way.
a couple of words surely need to come in from the captain to bring them back down to a good level.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, you've got a comfortable amount of time even between the initial 60 seconds. I don't think you use it. I think you wait until Queso get a little bit more momentum, and that's when you try and shake them up a bit.
But look at that stat sheet, though. Look at the stat sheet now. Look at the momentum that Queso have got. That was quite frankly a bit of a trouncing for Queso.
Did you not see the first goal that Solary got, though? Look at this. Look at this. What is this? How does this go in? You know what I'm saying? There's no way. You got to feel at least a little bit confident if you're Solary that one's slipping in.
So your logic for them not to take a timeout is because they got a free goal because Team Queso gave them something for absolutely nothing.
Yes,
do you know
exactly.
Do you know what, Turtle? Apparently you're right. Apparently Solary, they're saying the same thing to each other. They're going, right, lads.
See what I'm saying?
We don't need a timeout. We're getting freebies all day long. We are going straight in to game number 4. The reverse week is real, but Solary's still 1 game away.
Well, here's the thing. They were probably in that 60 seconds looking at the replays, remembering the goals that they got themselves and thinking, okay, we just got to keep going. Eventually, Team Queso will slip up. That positioning is still a little bit out of line.
I love that goal inspired Solary, but you just know for a fact Queso are going to want to avert their eyes whenever it reappears on their screen. The quick start for Solary did them well last game. They're going to be hoping for the exact same again, but will they be gifted with a spot of deja vu?
Yeah, we had a 4-minute and 52-second atomic goal just to really get things going in that final game on behalf of Team Queso. But this time it's Solary that have started a little bit better. Chaussette is being chased and nicked at by VK Salem. Manages to get away, but now VK Salem has a chance for a musty flick. Can't quite get it, but look at these clean touches for Team Queso in the Solary half. We weren't seeing any of that for the 4 games in a row that Solary did win. Atomic is going to send this one long, just continuing to ask questions from Solary. Chaussette is up and does really well to get the block on that one, but actually the 50-50 almost finds its way to Atomic, trudging its feet as it goes. That's just going to try and get a flick reset round the corner himself. So solo play seems to be what these players are focusing on. Nothing quite landing just yet, but I mean, Stumpy, you can see how warm they're all feeling.
Yeah, everyone is now playing at the absolute maximum capacity that they possibly can do. Like I said, the solo plays from everybody is inspiring to watch. I'm excited to see our wonder goal decide this set in the end, I mean, the series and the set. So maybe, just maybe, we see something special in this final, or in this penultimate game. But I guess the main question mark is, how can Queso push through when they aren't gifted a goal or 2, Turtle?
Man, I think that you go for the bumps, specifically on Farah. As the slower player here on the pitch, you try to take that man out. He's going to go for a dribble right here in the corner. This is when you get the demo. Try to be a little bit more physical and get in his face. Meanwhile, if you got Astro or Chaussette behind the ball, you take it a bit slower. I think that strategic gameplay, depending on who's in possession of it, could be what changes this game for Team Queso.
Astro has a chance. Now he's a man that can change it for Solary over the top of Atomic almost. Chaussette's trying to follow up, but Atomic does great to clear it away.
The boost management that's coming in right now from Solary is gradually wearing down the side of Queso. They've only got about 100 or so between them at this moment. Picking up a couple of those back pads as well has helped them out massively, as Astro has to retreat all the way back to his half. Good demo. The double commit now coming in. VK Salem with an own pass down to Atomic. Isn't able to get anything from it.
It just shows how quickly Team Queso can turn barely surviving into a real chance to score for themselves. They were boost starved, they were struggling. And then one great air dribble. Suddenly, this is the position they find themselves in. They're getting the dunks in front of the Solary goal. Dementor's going to keep the attack going. VK Salem around the side. Chaussette wins this 50-50 this time, though. And now it seems to be the 50-50 game is the difference between these two teams.
It's getting slightly more creative, too, from Team Queso, which I like. You see them going off of the top part of the stadium, trying to get an interesting touch and throw Solary off. Meanwhile, their backboard defense has been pretty stellar. That's not the best touch from Dementa, a little bit predictable. And we'll see if Solary have a nice counterattack after sustaining all that pressure.
Great touch long though from VK. Yeah, good touch long, basically. Making sure that any touch that they're getting out of their own half is at least being threatening towards Solary. Another chance for Dementa to take a bit of control. Astra on that left wing now, trying to 50 along with both of the attacking players that have come in. Another fake from Chaussette, playing zero boost so cleverly.
VK sailing from the ceiling. Astral this time asked to make a save. Dementor maybe has a chance to shoot. It's on the backboard instead. All three Solary players miss it. Oh my goodness, it was a triple commit, wasn't it? It was all of them. Fancied a slice of that ball. None of them got it. And Queso just couldn't take advantage. We are so close to approaching a time in this game where one goal is going to take it. You sense that it will be that. And I've got a feeling we've got a mistake in us from one of these players now. After making so many great saves and so many nearly moments mechanically, maybe that's all that there can be to break down these defenses.
Oh, you expect a mistake? I'm expecting a flip reset, all right, from either team. I think it's going to happen. I think at this point, it's going to come down to an incredible solo play. Both teams have had a chance at punishing, but they haven't been successful in executing. So maybe that 1v1 play is where things get a little bit spicy.
Let's see how this one ends. Dementor has a chance to shoot. He misses it.
Double commit.
Two Queso players that have been drawn in. Dementor does so well to just send that ball high, give his teammates a chance off the ceiling. Might be going all the way in. It is going all the way in. I would say that is a bona fide wonder play.
What on earth? How do you even get this angle?
How?
You see him coming across, Stumpy. Is this even possible? I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
I can tell you yes, very, very much so.
Literally yes.
I am amazed that Dementor stuck around to get that pass off in the first place. That is remarkable. What an angle from Atomic. Solary now just battling to try and maintain that control, bring it back a little bit. Astral tries to find a player on the right, isn't able to. Short set with the self-pass central, but as Atomic, using all of his boost, touches it down too so cleverly.
What?
Team Queso take us to game 5. And this, the last 2 hours of gameplay, is going to come down to a single game. Man. In this brand new format, of course it does.
Can we run it back? I just want to see that last goal again. I have no idea. I didn't think that the angle was possible to go off the ceiling. I for sure thought it bounced off of a player from Solary. Now looking at the stats, you can see VK Salen had pretty phenomenal game, being a bit more aggressive, and this was, I'd say, in favor of Solary. Dare I say, the shots weren't that intimidating. I thought we'd see a counter attack, and we finally get the timeout from Solary, finally.
Yeah, totally. You're going to have to wait a little bit to see that goal again from Atomic, because we have to stare at Shawset, Astral, and Farah and just try to imagine what on earth they are saying right now. This is a team, as you mentioned earlier, Stumpy, put together in, I believe it was May 2020, to take down Vitality. They never quite managed that, but they got to a few finals against them. And then going into the RLCS X, they were atrocious in full. They were absolutely terrible, written off, couldn't buy a win against bubble teams, right? But they've just continued to stay together, got on that grind, fought through so much adversity. It all comes down to these next 5 minutes. Do they have 5 minutes more worth of fight in them?
I mean, they have to. Their journey from the end of spring has brought them to this point. It has culminated in this moment, in reverse sweeping, bear in mind, the entire series. Oh, sorry, the entire set, rather. That's what they're playing for. This is the longest time that these guys would have played for a very long time, and it is going to be an absolute slog. The fact it comes down to a single game as well is going to tip the balance just
here we go,
to an unbelievable level. Not for this one. Whoa, hold your horses.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Still not this one. Still not this one, guys. Still not that. Are you ready?
Well,
it's going to be this next one.
This is all I care about. Okay, okay.
He's beaten Shawset as well.
What is that? Why? Why? I don't understand. You see him going up from the left side. This is what blows my mind about a situation like that. It's just killer instinct from a striker moving forward. Initially, as a player, you would want to just keep that ball, keep the possession, and throw it into the corner where you're coming across, where it's easier. But instead, he goes for this backwards hit off the ceiling. The creativity just exponentially rose for Team Queso. And to be honest, even after timeout, now it's swapped. I'm going to swap again with my picks. Team Queso,
oh my God,
they're
stop it.
gaining momentum.
You can't keep swapping. You're not Johnny Boy. You need to have an allegiance somewhere, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it okay? No? So is this your final pick, Turtle? You cannot change.
No. I'm sticking with Solary. I forgot.
Oh, you flip-flopped again.
No, listen. Farah is one of the longest standing, I'd say, like, team captains. If he's in comms and he's in a pressure situation, you know he's definitely hyping up Astral and making the proper calls here to get their strategy in perfect condition for this final game.
I know that me and Cole were Queso at the start, Cole. Are you still Queso?
I am now, yeah. I said that my favorometer tipped towards Solary, but I think right now, objectively, Team Queso are the favorites here. They have just warmed up. They are just petrifying. Solary, it's all pressure for them. And VK Salen almost missed that one. I mean, a free goal for Solary would instantly change that. So Team Queso have to defend quickly right now. Farah might be able to give them the lead. It's saved by VK Salen. Shorset keeps it going. Astral tries to tip it in. And VK Salen, again, the double save for him. Keeps it at 0-0. And then double commits. Why not?
Already with some quick starts. It is Solary firing on every single cylinder. Shorset can come in to rotate for that shot. Takes it to the corner instead. But then we'll be going for that underneath pass.
Goodness.
But look at Astral and Farah just waiting midfield, not wanting to overcommit too hard onto these balls, because that is where they've fallen apart previously. That's how Queso won a couple of their games earlier on.
I'm getting even flashbacks now to the first few games, in this series, Series 3 for Solary. You can see they're aggressive. They kept pressure right away, but now it's starting to shift the other way. Team Queso have responded, and we have got a Game 5 on our hands. This one is crazy, boys.
Shorset has a chance to draw the first blood against Team Queso, but it's just wide after Astral had done the same. And now VK Salen down the side, flicks it over the top of Astral, then goes for the bump on Farah. Farah did so well there. I think he was pretty low on boost. That was pure difficulty, even without the opponent coming in. And somehow he gets it away for Solary.
Solary have been peppering the net of Queso so hard that they've already conceded 6 shots on their own net, with Queso only having 2. And that was as of 30 seconds ago, let alone in the time that has since passed. It has been back and forth, but now Shorset wanting to give Farah yet another shot. Great interception by Dementor. Atomic up for 1. Can he touch it down? Does manage to, nearly, with another incredible angle.
Oh, the speed from Team Queso. It is in its final form. They are outpacing Solary, and what seems like every challenge, even whenever they're not first to it, they're winning the 50-50, and that's what's keeping that pressure alive for Team Queso to get that first early lead.
A bump! What a bump! Yeah, that was a bump that came out at maybe the last 0.1 of a second versus Astral, meaning that he couldn't quite get the perfect touch he wanted. But yet the Solary pressure continues. 30 boost for Farah. Can see Shorset central, but VK Salen will put the wall over his eyes. Chance to work his way out of his half now. Great pinch. That is Goldwoods, but not quite in.
So many chances coming in now. Clean cut chances, shooting chances, weird goals almost rolling in, but still, with 1 minute and 55 seconds left, we remain goalless. Who will take the first opportunity that falls to them? VK Salen pinches it into the corner. Farah is bumping Astral. Astral recovers, of course he does, but not got the touch he would have wanted. Oh, he more than recovers. He gets a flip reset away, sets Farah on his bike. Now Shorset's coming in, and it's going to go in. And that is all from Astral recovering from being bumped by Farah.
What a shot, though, that pass that came in from Farah as well. Just continues through, bumps Atomic for good measure. And Solary's cameras just then, every player just... Yeah, they took their moment. They knew they could take it. 90 seconds remains. Team Queso now trailing by 1.
That opportunity started with Atomic just cuts me off mid-sentence. Game 5, and you find the upper corner.
Oh, but what a dunk from Dementor as well. Atomic. Oh, there is no further inch of that goalpost that it could have gone any higher and still gone in. Solary will feel very hard done by that it's gone in. Team Queso do not care at all. They've equalized. Now they're trying to do even better. Dementor coming in as a pass to the center, but instead, with no boost, he just tries to keep as much control of the ball as possible. Dementor is coming back and picking up 100 boost as he does so. VK Salen coming in. Team Queso looking the more likely now as Astral clears it long and tries to get Solary back in the conversation.
Sent up high from Atomic to find VK Salen. Backboard. Then Astral on the left-hand wing. Farah can send it long. Astral up so early, but Atomic to challenge. We're into the final minute now. This series, this set, everything between these teams started with an overtime. Is that where it's going to end?
The pre-jump from Astral now. They're pulling out every single trick they have to get some kind of pressure. One opportunity to avoid overtime.
Dementor's going to get this one going for Team Queso. VK Salen's trying to follow up, but Farah beats him to it. Shorset's on the side, is going to leave it to VK Salen, who attempts an air dribble, just wants to get some boost, and he has got it. Now, this could really open things up for Team Queso. Shorset, though, booms it long. 20 seconds left, and Dementor's going to have a really tricky clearance. He's missed it completely, then has to win this race against Astral. He does. Farah is dumped by Atomic. Who's arriving? It's going to be Dementor, but Astral manages to get it to the backboard, only as far as VK Salen, deflected upwards by Shorset. Here's Atomic. He shoots
no way,
Atomic here, but he can't quite manage it. And Solary survived, maybe to go into an overtime. One more bit of defending from Farah. And 2 hours of Rocket League, after 8.5 months of Rocket League, for these two teams comes down to one goal.
Loser goes home. Winner will be proceeding through this championship bracket. Queso putting on the pressure at the start of this game to do just that. With Shorset sending it high, Farah will receive and takes it back to his corner. Atomic collecting a little bit of boost, can dribble one, but Astral staying so resolute.
Oh yeah, there's so much pressure coming out from Team Queso. Demos, shots off the crossbar, but Solary's defense standing tall. Game 5 OT, it's all gonna come down to one little mistake for both teams.
To me, it's got to be between Atomic and Astral. These two players have been sublime for both their teams. Atomic throughout the entire set. Astral, as the set has gone on, has been looking better and better and is so dangerous. Will it be either of these two men who will step up, or will it be somebody else? Shorset tries to etch his name in history. Farah over the top of the backboard. Astral's coming in. Astral shoots. Two Queso players combine and send it away, and then VK Salen finishes the job.
What a pinch save as well that had to come in to clear it far enough away. Atomic to receive, will go along with it again, just punting the ball away at every opportunity. Queso do not want the control here. They just want to get a runaway goal. Atomic now the lone man back and will challenge so confidently, leaving Astral with no chance but to retreat.
Yeah, that was great confidence right there from him, but Astral will get another bite of the cherry by Dementor. Farah leaves it, I think, for Shorset. Shorset's shot is loose and loopy.
He's so safe.
Tries to take Farah out.
Every single shot right now is just not wanting to put the ball out of position, going for the alley-oops and going for the backboard double taps. No one just wanting to take a massive shot on net. That could be what it needs.
Oh my goodness!
What?
Flaking on his goal line. The nerves of steel.
I am...
What is that?
I don't want to speak anymore. I don't feel like I can't. I can't predict what Team Queso are going to do. Dementor, you do not do that again, young man, in Game 5 overtime. Let's see if it affects Solary at all. Here is Dementor around the corner. Farah stands up squarely to him. Now it's Atomic, the man of the series so far, in my opinion. One more clean touch out wide to Dementor. He goes to the ceiling, needs to get out of there. He's got no boost at all. He's going to be needed in defense because Farah has helped out Astral. Those two have combined so many times in this set, and it's one more time to get it forward. Dementor's the backboard. Is anybody arriving? They're not, because Farah had taken out VK Salen, and Atomic will boom it long.
It's a fantastic demo as well they managed to come into. And with 2.5 minutes left, Turtle, I cannot separate these teams.
Oh, absolutely not. But you've got opposite play styles in this situation. Solary, you mentioned earlier, are trying to play passive, but then you've got Team Queso. They're going full-on aggression, it feels like, and risky plays. Dementor taking it slow on the goal line, situations like that. They want to try to throw Solary off, who's playing passive, but it's not going to work. Something has got to fall for one of these teams.
Atomic could be the man to make it happen, but not if he's not on the pitch. Astral knows what he's capable of and does not want to give him a sniff at that ball. Farah races against VK Salen. Farah wins. Now Astral with a perfect touch. Wants to get a flip reset. Instead goes under Atomic, but can't quite force the angle, at least for now. VK Salen this time clears it long.
Good touch as well to just continue. So then the 50 goes nicely in the favor of Queso. After with another delicate touch, flicks over one. The keeper in VK Salen. Steady hands to save it off the goal line again. 3.5 minutes to decide the fate of either team. Shorset finally with the chance. Goes high again, however. Farah wanting desperately. Double touch coming. Astral sends it low. Chance for Shorset, but saved by VK Salen for the 50th time this series.
How did Astral? How did he not follow it up? What is going on?
This has been one for the ages, Turtle. This has been an incredible overtime so far, and still it goes on. Ferrer, he goes long. VK Salem is going to catch it. Team Queso have had to defend so resolutely this entire season, and they still play with confidence on the front foot, going for these bumps, going for these demos, never fearing leaving the third man by themselves. They know that they are capable of dealing with anything that Solary throw at them. But Solary are taking so many attempts. Surely sometime soon one is going to land. It's just intense right now. As Astral clears long and Chaussette keeps the flick going. Demensa needs to not be dunked by Ferrer, so intelligently sends it into the corner. And now VK Salem and Demensa get in each other's way. Atomic is going up as the third man in overtime. He is going up.
That's the aggression that I talked about. Team Queso, they're not scared to throw everybody forward, but that gets me a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie. You've got a defensive play. The save from Chaussette. I thought it was slipping in. We're still in OT.
I was convinced that was in. That ball was halfway into the net, and yet it managed to stay out. Chaussette again, the hands, the nerves of steel of every single one of these players. Nobody letting either side down. Demensa, great touch into the back, but with VK Saden low boost, suddenly the chances just seem like they're piling up for Solary.
Yeah, but Team Queso just keep on beating them back, and all they need is one chance themselves. Atomic with a snapshot to the backboard. He's going to get another touch, just try and make things awkward as possible for Ferrer. But Chaussette's coming in now. Could it be an old-school Chaussette dribble to end it? Not on this occasion. Atomic to the backboard. Atomic can end it. Atomic almost does save it. Astral, and then the job is finished by his teammate. Still, we remain in overtime.
Literally how? There is no world where these shots don't go in 9 times out of 10. This is class from both teams on every single opportunity they get. They know it has to be a worldie.
Oh, yeah. We've seen some of the greatest saves in all of RLCS X in this first set alone. The defenses from Team Queso and Solary, it has been phenomenal. And I'm only wondering how much longer can they survive?
I'm not sure. I don't know how much longer I can survive. This is absolutely crazy. VK Salem up against Astral with the 50-50. Lads, I'm getting shades of Dignitas versus Vitality in Madrid. The game 6 overtime to end all overtimes. This is every bit as good so far.
We're 6.5 minutes in, and it's only getting better. Astral to that right wall, leaves it for a teammate, but Atomic is there. Ferrer also trying to clear out the backside, getting rid of Demensa. The shot can come in. That's the time to do it for sure. Chaussette now pushing right, Demensa to the sidewall, attempts to follow up too, but VK Salem a little bit far back, leaves the ball to fall to Solary, approaching the 7-minute mark. Both teams having huge chances to score each. Astral has shot 10 times to no avail. Queso's back line is rock solid.
Chaussette flicks that one high in the air and tries to follow it himself. Gets past Demensa, but not Atomic. Atomic's going to air dribble this one away. Up against Astral. Can he bypass him? He does. VK Salem then beats Ferrer. It could be going in, but it's saved by Chaussette, the hero. Another one from Demensa. Chaussette again stands up. Demensa wants to go high just to see if there's a boost starvation situation occurring. Not quite, with Ferrer making even more double saves for Solary, but it's Queso's turn to almost finish things off.
This is unbelievable, because what we're seeing is not only a fantastic first touch and initial save from Solary, there's always a follow-up, always a defender shadowing that touch and having confidence that your teammate will get it, but maybe an open shot for VK Salem slips off the post, and it's not over yet. We're still in OT.
Chaussette made a name for himself, a legend with his offense in this game, in this set. He is legendary in defense.
Astral tries to set up his legendary former aggressive player in Chaussette. There's a double demo from Astral. After the pass comes to nothing, Ferrer tries to make the most from it. VK Salem and Atomic have both spawned in that far corner, and now Demensa's tackled by Astral. This could be seriously dangerous for Queso. An infield pass comes in. Look at the comms, though. Demensa went for that, so Atomic stayed low. They are still talking so clearly when the pressure could not be higher.
It's just so many chances that look like they're going to go in.
What?
And that's one!
It's in!
What?
Astral manages to just leave the ball to fly over his head, and on the side of Queso, absolute eruption. So elated that this series finally ends after 8.5 minutes. We wanted a worldie, we got a mistake, but that series is one for the history books.
Oh, you can see the emotion in the player cams of Team Queso, the hype the pop-off, how much this means to them to move forward. And it ended with one of the most absurd ways. We didn't expect it after every save, every incredible mechanical shot. It's one defensive rotation error that changes it and ends this whole set.
It goes to show the level of concentration that all of these players had to have throughout not just that overtime, not even that series, the entire darn set. They could not spend a microsecond losing concentration. It happens once, and Team Queso punish you. The goal scorer, Stumpy, was atomic. What a series he had.
He had it was a mind-bending series. What he managed to pull off in the most clutch of moments and to ultimately at times embarrass Solary is something that he will look back on fondly, and hopefully this is only just the start.